Toronto turned 30 wins into 46 last season and built an elite defense. But underneath that record sat a real problem. They couldn't finish that half-court offense from the outside, and that exact gap pushed the front office into one of the strangest trades in years. Here's the data behind the roster churn and what it means for the new season. What you're looking at right now is the roster turnover from this past season. Toronto didn't go for a flashy overhaul. They went after the two spots that were exposed the year before, inside depth and second unit scoring punch. Start up front. Sandro Mamukelashvili signed as a free agent after leaving San Antonio, and he turned into the biggest frontcourt addition of the year. He played in all 80 games at 21.9 minutes a night. Look at the efficiency: 11.2 points, 4.9 rebounds, and his three-point number sits at 38.9%. Add in 1.9 assists a game, and you've got a big man who stretches the floor and still finds the open man. He became the piece that kept the bench offense moving. The draft class did the rest of the work inside. Murray-Boyles, 20 years old for most of that season, played 57 games at 21.9 minutes a night. He put up 8.5 points and 5 rebounds on a 57.9 field goal percentage. His game is pure physicality. Bully ball in the paint that raised the floor at the rim. Trayce Jackson-Davis came over from Golden State in a trade, and even in just 9.4 minutes across 53 games, he shot 57.3% from the field and grabbed 2.7 rebounds. Rim protection and a motor that never stops. That's what he brought to a front court that badly needed size. The backcourt got a smaller addition. Elijah Martin came in through the draft and added depth at guard. On the other side, Ochai Agbaji, who put up 5.1 points in 5.7 minutes across 62 games the year before, got moved to Brooklyn. That opened a spot on the wing for the younger pieces to grow into. None of this was a blockbuster on its own, but roll it all together, and this is the actual engine behind the jump from 30 wins to 46. The panel on screen ranks Toronto against the rest of the league before and after, using NBA.com's official tracking data on top and a separate composite built from the 10 highest-rated Raptors on the bottom. The headline is the defense. Toronto took its pace, 9th in the league the year before, and dropped it all the way to 21st. Slowing the game down wasn't an accident, it was the whole plan, and the numbers back that up. Opponent fast break points went from 20th to 2nd. Opponent points in the paint improved from 19th to 8th. Second chance points allowed went from 19th to 7th. Choke-off transition and the defensive rating follows. Toronto jumped from 15th all the way to 5th in the league. That defense came with a cost. Offensive rebound rate dropped from 5th to 16th, and the team's overall rebounding grade fell from 9th to 23rd. That's not a team that stopped trying to crash the boards. That's a team that sent every guard sprinting back on defense the second a shot went up, trading extra possessions for stops in transition. The offense told a cleaner story. Assist rate held at 3rd in the league, right up with the best in basketball. The turnover rate improved from 25th to 7th. Passing grade jumped from 15th to 2nd. Less hero ball, more ball movement, and defenses had to work for every stop. Effective field goal percentage climbed from 24th to 15th. Offensive rating moved from 26th to 14th, right into the middle of the pack. Point differential jumped from 24th to 11th, and that's usually where close game toughness shows up. Here's the piece that didn't move. The three-point volume and accuracy combo sat at 29th and only crept up to 26th. The three-point shooting grade actually got worse, from 19th to 26th. Overall scoring grade slipped from 16th to 21st. Toronto could set up the perfect look, over and over, and still couldn't consistently knock it down. Great defense and great ball movement got this team to 46 wins. The outside shot is what stopped it from going further. This next chart breaks down NBA.com's playtype data, how often Toronto ran each action, and how many points they scored per possession running it. Here's the part that looks like a contradiction at first. Toronto dropped its pace to 21st in the league, but transition possessions still ranked 3rd overall. That's not chaos, that's discipline. The defense recovered the ball fast enough, 5th in the league, and wings like RJ Barrett and Scottie Barnes turned every live ball turnover into an easy bucket before the defense could set. Points per possession on those transition plays climbed from 28th to 18th because Toronto picked its spots instead of running blind. In the half court, they cut out the clutter and leaned into what worked. Pick and roll volume for the roll man actually stayed low, but efficiency on those plays jumped from 11th to 6th. Poeltl, Sandro Mamukelashvili, and Murray-Boyles were the ones cashing in on those reads. Post-up efficiency, mostly Brandon Ingram and Barnes, went from 22nd to 9th. Handoffs run through RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley climbed from 29th to 4th. Off-screen efficiency moved from 20th to 8th. Cuts to the basket improved from 29th to 14th. Almost every action you can run from the perimeter, this team ran it better than the year before. One number went the other way. Putback frequency, second chance points off offensive rebounds, fell from 3rd to 21st. Same story as the defensive side. Everyone's sprinting back instead of crashing the glass. And here's the real bottleneck. With all that ball movement, passing grade 2nd, assist rate 3rd, Toronto still finished only 14th in offensive rating. Spot-up efficiency, the shots created directly off that passing, dropped from 21st to 25th. They were getting the open look. They just weren't making enough of them. This chart layers 3 things on top of each other to track individual growth. Pink on the bottom row means top 50 in the league. Yellow means top 10, the very top of the league. For the overall grade, 780 is the bar for a starter. 720 is the bar for a rotation piece off the bench. At point guard, Emmanuel Quickley cleared that starter bar without much trouble, running the offense as Toronto's primary ball handler. The standout number is his assist grade. It landed in that top 50 range. Real proof he'd grown into a legitimate playmaker who finds the open man. His scoring efficiency and defensive numbers sat just below that same tier, but the overall package held up. He anchored the backcourt on both ends. Behind him, Shead changed the entire depth of the position. After a quiet season the year before, he came back and blew past the bar for a bench player. His calling card is passing. Shead's assist grade shot all the way into the top 10 in the league, the elite tier. He locks up opposing guards on defense, and once he's got the ball, he brings order and pace to the second unit. Quickley ran the offense with top-tier assist numbers. Shead took over for stretches and brought top 10 passing off the bench. That two-man setup gave Toronto real stability at point guard, and it's exactly the kind of depth that lets this front office push forward with confidence on the rest of the roster. At shooting guard, the story is Brandon Ingram's takeover season and Jacoby Walter's breakout as a second-year player. Ingram came over from New Orleans in a trade and immediately became Toronto's lead scorer. He cleared the starter bar with room to spare, and the counting numbers back it up. 21.5 points a game on a 38.2% clip from 3. Add in his mid-range game, and he gave this offense a shot creator it didn't have before. He didn't coast on offense either. His defense held up, and alongside Scottie Barnes, he became one of the 2 players Toronto leaned on most to carry the turnaround. Walter took a real jump behind him. After a rough rookie year, he cleared the bar for a bench player this time around. His growth shows up in 2 spots, the 3-point shot and his hands on defense. He pushed his 3-point percentage over 40%, giving the offense real spacing, and his steal numbers climbed into the top 50 range in the league. Every minute he played off the bench, he brought pressure on both ends, and that gave the second unit real stability. That's a starter. Defenses had to game plan for every night, next to a bench piece who could hold up on both ends. Shooting guard wasn't a hole on this roster all season. Small forward tells 2 very different stories. RJ Barrett's strong season, and the growing pains Grady Dick went through in year 2. Barrett cleared the starter bar with room to spare, finishing with an overall grade of 810. The number that stands out is his scoring efficiency, which reached that top 50 tier. Check the shooting split, a 49.1 field goal percentage, 19.3 points a night. That's downhill drives and transition speed, the kind that made him one of 3 real threats, alongside Scottie Barnes and Brandon Ingram. He held up his end on defense too, playing exactly the role a starter is supposed to play. Dick's season went the other way. His overall grade fell to 657, down from 714 the year before, and his jump shot, supposed to be his best skill, completely dried up. His 3-point percentage dropped to 30.1%, and pretty much every offensive number came down with it. Give him credit for staying on the floor. He played all 76 games, showed real effort on defense, and pushed his steal numbers up even while the shot wasn't falling. That's the kind of season a young player can build off of. Barrett gave Toronto high-end efficiency and real driving force. Dick gave them a tough season he had to fight through. Between the 2, this position carried both the strength at the top of the roster and the growing pains underneath it. Power forward is where Scottie Barnes turned into an all-star, and where rookie Murray-Boyles made an immediate impact. Barnes put up a team-high grade of 879, locking down his spot as one of the best 2-way forwards in the league. He started all 80 games, shot 50.7% from the field, a big jump, and his defense is what really stood out. His defensive grade climbed into the top 50 tier, and he became the guy shutting down opposing drives to the rim. Playmaking, rim protection, all of it, at a high level. He's the real engine behind this turnaround. Murray-Boyles brought something different behind him. 20 years old for most of the season, he cleared the starter bar off the bench, a rare thing for a rookie. His game is built on physicality inside. A 57.9 field goal percentage tells you how efficient he was around the rim, and his defensive grade actually topped Barnes's. He brought real pressure on opposing bigs and helped lock down the second unit's defense. Two-way production at the top, defensive numbers most rookies never touch coming off the bench behind him. Power forward was the airtight spot on a defense that finished 5th in the league. Center is where Poeltl anchored the paint, and Mamukelashvili, who signed as a free agent after leaving San Antonio, gave this team something completely different off the bench. Poeltl cleared the starter bar and held down the middle of Toronto's defense all year. He shot 70% from the field, a remarkable number for anyone at the rim, and his rebounding grade landed in that top 50 tier. He dealt with an injury that cost him time during the season, but whenever he was on the floor, his screens and rim protection held the half-court defense together. Behind him, Mamukelashvili changed what the second unit could do. He cleared the starter-level bar off the bench at 800 and played all 80 games. Real durability for a role player. His game is spacing. A 38.9% clip from 3 pulled opposing bigs away from the rim, and his defensive grade also landed in that top 50 range. He created room inside while still holding his own on the other end. One anchor at the rim, one who could pull bigs away from it. No other position on this roster covered as much ground as center did. Pull all of that together, and last season's numbers tell a clear story. This team finished at the bottom of the division the year before. Last season, they jumped to 46 wins on a defense that ranked 5th and a passing attack that ranked 2nd. Drop the pace to 21st, cut opponent fast break points down to 2nd, build a solid core around Scottie Barnes, Quickley, and RJ Barrett. That combination pushed Toronto into the 5 seed and a straight playoff spot. Then the Cavaliers happened in the first round, and that series exposed exactly what the numbers already showed: no gravity in the half court and a 3-point grade sitting at 26th in the league. All that passing, all that ball movement, and no closing punch when it mattered most. Growth from the same core wasn't going to be enough to break through. So the front office went after the most aggressive move available. That move is the Kawhi Leonard trade. Toronto agreed to send Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, and multiple first-round picks to the Clippers to bring Leonard back, the same player who delivered the franchise's only championship back in 2019. On paper, pairing him with Barnes gives this offense the gravity it never had, a second star who forces defenses to bend. Here's where it gets complicated. That trade is on hold right now. The league is investigating whether Leonard's contract with the Clippers violated the salary cap. And until that investigation wraps up, the deal can't officially close. Depending on how the league rules, Toronto either gets its second star, or Ingram and Dick stay right where they are. The center rotation is already shifting. This offseason, Mamukelashvili signed with the Lakers in free agency, which leaves that backup spot open behind Poeltl for Trayce Jackson-Davis and whoever else steps up in camp. Add in Kyle Anderson at forward, and the frontcourt is still very much a work in progress heading into the new season. And this offseason had one more moment that had nothing to do with wins and losses. Kyle Lowry signed a one-day contract just to retire as a Raptor, and the franchise is retiring his number 7 next season. Whatever happens with the Leonard trade, this is a team built on defense and ball movement heading into a season that could go either way for them in the East. If you liked this breakdown, hit like and subscribe for more, and tell us where you land on the Leonard situation in the comments.